All right, Panther Lair, let's talk a little Will Jeffress and Jaland Lowe from Pitt's open night win over NC A&T on Monday night. Now, if you're reading this article, the flow probably makes sense. I've been talking about the incumbent players so far, Federico, Jorge Diaz-Graham. I'm going to conclude that by talking about Will Jeffress here, and then we're going to transition into the newer players, starting with Jaland Lowe. So this works out pretty nicely here. Now, one of the questions I had going into this season, and I highlighted that on other articles, was, are the young freshman point guards going to be able to generate the same good looks coming out of ball screen situations that Jamarius Burton and Nelly Cummings did last year? Now, I think in some ways that's really unfair, but Pitt's going to run a lot of similar things. There's a lot of the same players that there were last year, at least a rolling Federico, and Blake Hinson. So I think it at least was fair enough that Pitt needs to generate good looks out of pick and roll, right? So we're going to take a first look at this possession here. It's going to start with Carrington, supposed to set a ram screen here for Federico. Now, the importance of that is that what Pitt is trying to do here is when Bub sets a screen, is it's supposed to put Federico's man in a pretty big trailing position. And so as Federico sprints to set this ball screen, it's not going to allow his defender to set up in the ball screen defense in like an ideal scenario. That's not how it plays out. I don't want to nitpick too much for game one, but it does end up being the ball screen. And coming out of this ball screen, you're going to see Bub curl around here. Jorge is going to occupy both of these help defenders. But the other thing here with this action it does is it clears out the middle for Federico to roll. And that's going to force Will Jeffress' defender down as the low man to tag and help. So there's two options here for Lowe. One is a pretty wide open three-pointer for Carrington. He did shoot 4 of 7 from these, so this is a fine look. But he also knows that this is going to be a passing lane and window that opens because Jeffress' defender is now having to account for the rolling Federico and tag. It's a reasonably good pass, a little low, no pun intended. I do like how Will stepped in his three-point shots with confidence. I know he missed both, but he didn't look the same as he did 2 years ago when he had a little bit of uncertainty. The ball had much more arc, a little bit more rotation. I think there's just a lot of confidence here. We know how much energy Will brings to the table, so it's not surprising that he grabbed his own rebound, tried to get a layup, and got fouled. Now, this possession I included because it demonstrates mostly how far Will has gone offensively and how much he's grown, but it also shows the importance and the subtleties that guard setting screens and the opportunities that those can create. So as this ball gets passed to Guillermo, you're going to see Lowe's just going to set this screen here. And Will's defender is going to choose to lean in and play the ball screen. And what that's going to create is it's going to create this opportunity for him to drive baseline because his defender is going to be cheating on playing the ball screen. And so not really good. I mean, this is not a good defensive position if you look at that. And again, that's all because of the screen set by Lowe. Now, Lowe's defender comes off here to defend Will. Now, 2 years ago, Will probably just peels back and passes his ball out to Lowe, and that's not the worst thing in the world. But instead, he just allows a little bit of patience, a little bit more time to develop, and Lowe's man has to vacate back to him. He already has his own defender on his hip. And just a nice little shot fake and the patience in just laying this in. People that watched Will play 2 years ago offensively probably did not think he was capable of making this play. So kudos to Will for really working hard in the year that he had off, coming back with a lot of poise, with a lot of patience and confidence, even though he wasn't logging like meaningful games that Pitt was playing, of course. So I think Will's going to continue to grow. I think the shot's going to come around. He's definitely going to be a big boost off the bench for Pitt. And as far as Lowe is concerned, I know he didn't have the best night offensively. He had 3 assists, 3 turnovers. He missed all of his 3-point attempts. I think he only took 2. But I think the bigger point is that he is good in ball screens, and Pitt needs that now. So the shots are going to come, and the shots are going to fall, but Pitt needs a guy that's going to come in and be able to generate good looks out of ball screen situations if Leggett and Bub aren't on the floor. And I think, again, against reduced competition, Lowe showed that he can make those decisions. So really good stuff from both of them. Intrigued to see more. Hope you guys are as well.